Hello, dear ones. Father Peter John, coming to you from All Saints Orthodox Church in Bloomington, Indiana. Christ is in our midst. Today we are talking about step 10 on the ladder of divine ascent, the book by St. John Climacus. We're talking about slander. He says, "Do not regard the feelings of a person who speaks to you about his neighbor disparagingly, but rather say to him, 'Stop, brother, I fall into graver sins every day, so how can I criticize him?' In this way, you will achieve two things. You will heal yourself and your neighbor with one plaster. This is one of the shortest ways to the forgiveness of sins. I mean, not to judge. As the Lord says, 'Judge not, and ye shall not be judged.'" It's very important to St. John, it's very important to our Christian life, to our spiritual health, that we not speak, he says, disparagingly about our neighbor, that we not focus on or highlight or magnify the sins of our neighbor. He says in one place, if you have to talk to somebody about your neighbor's sin, at least don't use the person's name. Keep it anonymous. He's talking about our propensity to want to focus on the sins of others in order to take the light off of our own sins, right? We make ourselves feel better by talking about somebody else's difficulties or weaknesses or sins. So St. John tells us not to speak disparagingly about our neighbor, but if we must talk to somebody about it, to do it in a way that protects their identity, that protects them, and not to be afraid to say to somebody who comes to us to speak negatively about our neighbor that we can't engage in that conversation because we are far more sinful than the person that they're referring to. So who are we to judge? Doesn't mean we don't say that a sin is a sin. It means that we take responsibility for our own sinfulness and that we don't try to put others down by talking about their sinfulness. Christ is in our midst. He is and ever shall be.